Hello scent addicts, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Alim, and today I got a fun one for us. We're going to rank the entire Nitro line from Dumont Paris. We have 10 fragrances. I'm going to start with my least favorite and work all the way up to my number one, so let's jump in. So at number 10 I have Dumont Nitro Blue. Now this is a clone of Parfum de Marly's Pegasus, but it's with a little bit of a twist. This one had the opening is slightly more aromatic and a little bit more spicy. And this is like a hybrid gourmand floral fragrance that's both sweet and fresh. So you get orange blossom, cinnamon, in the mid you get praline and woody notes. And in the base is where it gets sweet because it has black amber and rosewood. I also get like an almondy note in here. It's not listed in any of the notes, but for some reason when I do smell it, especially as it gets drier, I pick up some almond. And the issue for me on this one is in the opening, I get this weird, like rubbery, almost like a burnt rubber smell that I just can't get over. And to be fair, I do get the same thing in the OG, but in this one, it's even more pronounced. I don't know, let me know in the comments, is it just me or do you guys get the same thing? It does get much better as it dries down. The only thing is that I dislike the opening so much that I end up never reaching for this one. And longevity is also a bit of an issue for me. See, the Nitro line is known for monster performance, longevity, projection, but with this one, I only get about 5 hours. Granted, I don't wear it very often, but the times I have, I've only got like about 5 hours, and projection was not great either, even in the first couple of hours. So for all those reasons, my number 10 spot goes to Dumont Nitro Blue. So at my number 9 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Green. So this is not a terrible scent. This is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramall, but with a twist. What this does, it takes the Ultramall DNA and then makes it a more green, slightly herbal and woody fragrance. This one opens with florals, jasmine, and saffron. And as it dries down is where you get those green notes. You get lavender and green leaves. The notes literally says green leaves. Then in the base you get cedar, resin, and earthy notes. It is a more mature take on the DNA, but I'm not sure if mature means better in this case. Longevity is also not that great. You're gonna get 6, maximum 7 hours. The projection is moderate in the first hour or so, but after that it does taper off a little bit. It is a versatile fragrance though. You can probably pull this off year round. So in my number 9 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Green. In the number 8 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Black. Now this is Dumont's attempt at a direct clone of Creed's Aventus. And in that opening, you get this fresh pineapple, crisp apple, and blackcurrant. Then just like the original Aventus, you get birch and patchouli in the mid, and as it dries down, you get musky and sweeter notes. This does give you that same Aventus smoky pineapple scent that's both clean and inviting. As far as performance go, you get decent longevity here, about 7 hours. Projection is also moderate as well. And this is a well-blended Aventus clone. It's just that I have so many other clones that I prefer over this one, so I don't see myself reaching for it very much. But if you do not have another Aventus clone, this is still a solid option. So that's my number 8. That's Dumont Nitro Black. At the number 7 spot, we have the original Dumont Nitro Homme. Some say this is a clone of Lafayette Street by Bond No. 9. I don't get that at all. I've also heard that this is a clone of Bogart Silver Scent. I've never smelt that fragrance, so I can't tell you it is, but some people say it's that fragrance on steroids. And from this point on, I really like all the fragrances on the list. This one is like a sophisticated, mature scent that's a mix of sweet and fresh notes. You get a bunch of citrus in here. You get lemon, mandarin orange, and grapefruit, but you also get florals and woods. You get orange blossom, jasmine, and cedar. And then in the base, you get musk, sandalwood, and gaiac wood. When it comes to performance, this is a good performer. You get about 7 to 8 hours of longevity. And as far as projection goes, I would say it's a moderate projection. This is not a very loud fragrance, but I don't think it was designed to be. This one is also a pretty versatile fragrance. I think you can rock it almost all year round, except for maybe the hottest days of summer. but I do think it actually would work also as like a date night fragrance. So like I said, I do really like this one. It's probably the least hyped of the entire line, but still, I think it's a solid choice. That is Dumont's Nitro Pour Homme. In the number 6 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Intense. Now this is actually a clone of Creed's Aventus Absolute, and it's a darker, smokier take on that original Creed Aventus DNA. So in the opening, you still get that pineapple note, but then it adds a blackcurrant, plum, cinnamon, and cognac note. And in the mid, you still get the birch and patchouli notes, but it adds lavender. And then in the base, you get amber, sandalwood, and vanilla. It's like a rich, multi-layered fragrance that's more complex and darker than the original, so it adds a little bit more depth. And with this one, the performance really picks up. You're getting a solid 8+ hours on this one, even longer on clothes, and that projection for the first 2 hours is pretty strong. Nowadays, I just like the Aventus Absolute DNA a little bit more than the original. That's probably why this is higher up on the list than the black. Solid pickup, especially if you don't have any other Creed Aventus or Aventus Absolute clones. So solid choice at my number 6 spot, Dumont's Nitro Intense. At my number 5 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Red. Now this is the fragrance that put this entire line on the hype train, and it's the Paco Rabanne Invictus with a watermelon twist. Now this is definitely a sweet, fruity fragrance that opens with apple, lavender, and bergamot. But then that standout watermelon note kicks in, but that's also accompanied by woods like cedar. And as it continues to dry, you get this ambery, woody feel with additional patchouli. This one starts off as a fruity fragrance, but then it dries down into a woody, ambery one. And you are getting that performance that this line is known for. On skin, you're getting about 8 to 10 hours and really, really loud projection in the beginning. This is great value for the price. I think it deserves all the hype. It's a strong and mass appealing fragrance. There's a reason that this is a little bit lower on the list because there's another version of this that shows up a little later on. So the number 5 spot goes to Dumont Nitro Red. At my number 4 spot, I have Dumont Nitro Platinum. This one also gets compared quite often to Creed Aventus. While it is part of that DNA, it's actually closer to Lattaf's Cahiers del Farson, which is essentially a fruitier take on that Aventus DNA. This is a sweet, fruity, and woody fragrance. And right off the bat, you get this mix of fruits with blackcurrant, orange, apple, and then a bit of spice with pink pepper. Then it starts to transition to a more sweet fragrance where you get that vanilla, sugar, ambers, and saffron. Then you also get these woody, musky, and mossy notes as it dries down. This is definitely a fruitier, more syrupy, gourmand take on that Aventus DNA, but I think those changes helps it carve its own identity. Performance is also really good with this one. You're getting a solid 8 hours, and projection is really good as well, especially in that first hour or two. This is a compliment getting fragrance. So that's my number 4. That's Dumont Nitro Platinum. At my number 3 spot is the newest release, Dumont Nitro Elixir. This is a dupe of YSL Myself Absolute, but with a nitro twist to it. This is a powdery, fresh and clean fragrance, but it still keeps some of that sweetness that the Dumont Nitro line is known for. You still get those mix of fruits with apple, orange, bergamot, and in the top you also get cardamom. And then, as it starts to dry, you get this mix of orange blossom, praline, and mint. Then the fragrance is rounded out by sweet, amber, tonka, and moss notes. At the end, this is a sweeter, more ambery version of YSL Myself Absolute, and I completely fell in love with this thing. That's why I rocketed up the charts. Maybe it's recency bias, but this thing is awesome and it's a mass appealing scent. And performance is awesome on this one as well. 8+ hours, longer on skin, projection in the first couple of hours, super strong. And this is, if you're looking for one that could work as like an office scent, this is the one you would want to go with. But this thing is really incredible. That's Dumont Nitro Elixir. At my number 2 spot, we have Dumont Nitro Red Intensely. Now this takes that original Nitro Red DNA and just amps everything up to 10. And while it does pull back on the watermelon note, it does add a bunch of other fruits. You get apple, peach, melon, and bergamot in this one. And it does change as it dries down. You get that sweetness with amber, but you also get a balance with sea salt and woods. This is a fruity, woody, and ambery scent, and there's a reason this DNA is so super popular nowadays. Because this thing is likable and wearable, smells awesome. Some people say it leans a little bit youthful, but listen, I say rock what you want. This thing works for any age group as long as you wear it with confidence. Mega nuclear performance. I'm talking about longevity at 10 plus hours. Lasts for days on your clothes. As far as projection, not only is this a screaming loud fragrance, it like jumps off your skin. This thing works best in spring and fall. You could probably rock this in summer, but just maybe on cooler days in the summer and maybe summer nights. I did go back and forth between this and what's in my number 1 spot. But at the end, I think I am very comfortable with keeping this at number 2 because this is solid. I just like the other one a little bit better. That's Dumont's Nitro Red Intensely. So at number 1, I have none other than Dumont Nitro White. Now this one is Nitro Red mixed with Stronger With You. This is a mix of sweet and powdery, fresh and fruity, and it does all of that really, really well. You still get those sweet, fruity notes with juniper berry. I still get that watermelon vibe with this one, but then it is balanced out with a base of sweet honey, vanilla, and ambers. I find this one just addictive. This is one of those fragrances that I spray on, and throughout the day, I just like to get whiffs of it. It's just so mass appealing. It's so smooth, it's so fresh, and that's why it's my number 1 spot. Performance-wise, while it's not as strong as the last 2, those are extrait de parfums, but still very solid. Longevity-wise, you're still gonna get like 7 to 8 hours and you'll get moderate to strong projection, but man, it smells so good. I don't mind that it's not as strong as the other 2. Honestly, if you're looking for beast mode performance from this one, just overspray it a little bit, but don't go too crazy because this is a nitro fragrance after all. This one works best in cooler weather, fall, winter, though you can probably pull it off in spring. I would avoid this in the high heat of the summer though. I can't wait for the cooler fall months to hit because I know I'll be reaching for this regularly. So that's my number 1, Dumont Nitro White. There you have it, folks. That's my ranking of the entire Dumont Nitro line. Let me know in the comments which is your least favorite and which is your most favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, please spread the word and hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to grow this channel and every subscriber counts. And as always, stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.